People always ask me, how is it that you got to live in a cave? What happened? What's the story behind that? Well, I'm here to tell you. And my name is Michael Sasserossi. I'm a life coach with a lot of life experiences and coaching experiences. And I'm gonna share with you some of my life experiences. Well, this was many years ago, back in the early 80s. I just graduated from college and everybody bought their suits to interview for Procter and Gamble and whatever big company there was back then. And I bought a Harley Davidson leather jacket. I took my motorcycle and I went across country with a backpack and a tent and my notepad writing poems. And then after a couple years, I decided, you know what, maybe I'll, get a get a job and see what's going on. So I always was fascinated by Lake Powell. It was just so beautiful. So I rode up there and I'm thinking, okay, what do I want to do? There's a marina there, there's a restaurant. I don't really think I could be a waiter, but hey, those ski boats look pretty cool. Maybe I could be a ski boat instructor. Problem is, I never drove a boat before, but that wasn't going to stop me. So what I did was I went down there and I kind of looked around a little bit and I went in for an interview. And I never lied to them. They asked me questions like, oh, you must be familiar with boats. I said, I grew up on Lake Michigan. And they said, well, you're familiar with water. I said, I have my scuba diving license, all true. Never actually said that I've never driven a boat before, but I got the job. So it started in 2 days. So the next day, there I am. I'm like, okay, what do I do? So I'll sneak down on the dock and I'll look around and I'll see, how to start it or learn as much as I can before the training. So they're wondering what I'm doing down there hanging out. So I left. And then I came back, went back to my tent. I was just camping out. And the next day showed up at work expecting some training. And here they are. They're like, okay, we need a boat instructor to, instruct this couple, this family, how to drive a boat. You're up. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? I had to first of all, I had to back a boat out, drive it down the docks, down the fingers, pull up to the family. I'll never forget it. There were 4 of them. They were with their ski poles and their skis and fishing poles, and they're all excited. And I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. So there I am. I hop in the boat and I look, and there's a steering wheel. I'm like, going, okay, I've driven a car. I can do this. There's a key. I can do this. So I start it up. It starts up fine. And then I'm like, okay, I got to back it up. I knew enough to take the ropes off. So the ropes were off, and the gear shifter right there has forward and has reverse. So I like, okay, I'll just put in reverse and press on the gas. Well, I didn't realize there was no gas pedal and the reverse was the gas. So what I did was I pressed down as hard as I can on reverse and I flew back. It was crazy. And it was so loud because the engine, there was an outboard engine that popped up. And if you ever heard a motor going outside of the water, it is loud. And I'm spinning around between the 2 docks. I'm on the ground and and all of a sudden the engine hit something and the engine died. And it was total quiet. And I'm getting up from the bottom of the boat. Everybody's run over and I'm like, hi, I'm your boat instructor. And they're like, no, you're not. And the manager, she's like, get in here. And she talked to me, goes, you've never driven a boat, have you? I said, no. So she goes, okay, well, you got a good attitude, so I'm going to teach you. So I stayed my job. And they said, well, instead of living in the tent, why don't you room with the mechanic? And he lives in a trailer park. So I was rooming with him. The second night he has a party. Somebody goes in my room, steals all my money. I got no money. And I don't get paid for another week. So I'm in like almost 100-degree heat, walking down on my second day without food. And I'm just like, pass out. They're like, oh, what's going on with them now? And they're trying to wake me up. I'm like, food. They feed me. And one of the workers there, they actually lived out in a cave on an island there with no electricity. They felt sorry for me. They said I could stay with them. And I was able to take a boat back to this island and back. And it was awesome. I didn't actually live in the cave, store the stuff in there. I slept outside. The lizards would go over me. In fact, I put stakes in the sand for when the sun would come over the cliff and wake me up depending when my shift was. Why am I telling you this story? Because in my life coaching, I specialize in a bounce back coach. If you had adversity, How do you make the best of it, and how do you move ahead? I ended up having one of the best times of my life. I was only making $3.35 an hour as a college graduate, but I wouldn't take back that time and living in the cave, taking a boat to work. So what I do is I help people get over those obstacles. If you're going through something right now, it seems impossible. Well, give me a call. Let me know below. Just if if it resonates with you. There's some people that resonate with me, some people that don't. If you don't, that's cool. I respect that. But if somehow I resonate, you're going through a little difficulty and you need some help going over there, just leave me a little note below. We'll set up a time to chat and see if we're a good fit. Hope you enjoyed the story. Have a great day and God bless.